Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the International Fabtalks. Thank you for being a part of our journey, dear friends. Thank you for encouraging us every single day. And guess why am I saying this every single day? Because we have several unsung heroes who have done their very best and are continuing the beautiful journey of contributing to the society. And we have special celebrities every day joining us. And today, our celebrity is Miss Kirti Garg from Delhi. She's a psychologist and the founder of a beautiful organization called the PsyK Life. Let's get to know more about how she is going to influence your life, how she's going to inspire you. There's a hidden gem in her. So let's get that out. That's the secret of how you could be the next Kirti. Join me, dear friends, to get to know more about our special celebrity. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and for such a warm welcome and introduction. Means a lot.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for accepting the invitation to the International Fab Talks, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, in an official way, I'll go ahead and introduce you.
Yeah, please
Thank
do.
you. Dear friends, it's our duty and honor to introduce our special celebrity in an official way. It's our responsibility as well. I'd like you all to know as to what ma'am is all about with her profession, enabling people to transform their lives. The PsyK Life is a nice, beautiful mental health organization that has been registered, which was founded by none other than Miss Kirti Garg, who is a psychologist by profession, in the year 2020. The PsyK Life is a safe space where they advocate mental health awareness. They create mental health awareness and enable you to develop as a better individual, focusing mainly on to normalize therapy, no, not to stigmatize it, to normalize it very well among the masses. They destigmatize mental health illnesses and reach out to the masses. In almost 3 years, they have reached and impacted over 10,000 people through various awareness programs and workshops, training, mental health camps, and more. And especially during the COVID pandemic, the PsyK Life Foundation was one of the major initiatives that focused on providing free help to all the people all over India. This included free self-care sessions, meditation classes, free mental health helpline services to the people in crisis, to name a few. At the PsyK Life Foundation, this organization, they mostly concentrate on those topics that are taboo. Most of us wouldn't like to talk on certain topics in the Indian society. Being very traditional, most of the people would like to put it under the carpet or behind closed doors. But here is a beautiful organization focusing on speaking on those taboo topics and bringing it out in the open to enable people to live a beautiful life. And dear friends, apart from this, they share free resources around psychology. They advocate mental health and also provide various trainings, courses, diplomas, internships, and much more educational services to all the budding psychologists and mental health professionals. And friends, they also provide, trainings to different organizations in various life skills like empathy building, stress management, team building, specialized well-being programs around meditation, yoga, etc. They also focus on building India's first mental health store with useful and accessible products aiming at holistic wellness for one and all. Apart from this, one of the major services also include the therapy sessions connected with the main founder, that is Miss Kirti Garg and her team. Together with other mental health professionals, they focus on bringing a beautiful transformation in the society. They provide affordable online counseling sessions and therapy. Clients with issues like relationship conflicts, self-growth, dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, depression, grief, mental disorders, etc., have been taking a lot of professional help from them and from ma'am especially and her team, and many of them have recovered. The recovery rate is really awesome, and there's a lot of positive feedback from most of the clients. And today, ma'am has taken out some time for us. She's a very busy person. She's taken out some time on request, special request from the International Fab Talks. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to read the entire thing and just welcome me so warmly. And I am glad to be here, glad to be a part of the wonderful work that your organization, that International Fabtalks, is doing. And I'll try my best to put in as much inputs as I can. And thank you so much.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, very much. We begin with the session. Like first, we would like to know Who is the real Kirti? Yes.
Interesting question. The real Kirti is just who is sitting in front of you. As a human being, I've grown. So I was a completely different person uh, when I was a lot younger. I used to be very aggressive. I used to be, my family friends used to tell me I used to be arrogant. So, but once I stepped into the field, the beautiful field of psychology, I feel the field has just transformed me. I've gotten to know myself better. I've become a more empathetic, non-judgmental person. And I prefer living life with no filter today because irrespective of the flaws and weaknesses that all of us have, and I do too, I've become comfortable with them. So the real Kirti is exactly going to be the person you're going to be conversing today with without any filter and just trying to put across my points so that mental health reaches to all so that there's no stigma around taking therapy. That's the motto I live for today.
Beautiful, ma'am. I love the concept. Live without filters. Do not be a fake person in front, like on screen one and off screen another personality. Like, so it's best to be our genuine selves. Yes, dear friends. So we're going to know more about ma'am's work. I would love all of you to understand as to what work ma'am is focusing on and why she wants this beautiful transformation and what is the foundation all about, the organization that ma'am runs, that is PsycH Life. Dear ma'am, let's get to know more about the organization that you've initiated and you're going strong about it. Would you like to share as to how you entered into this beautiful journey? What inspired you into it?
Definitely. So psychology was never something I wanted to do. It was never even an option. When I was in my 11th standard, 10th, 11th standard, I was always motivated to become a UPSC aspirant and a civil servant. So that was what I was, and I was academically quite bright. So everybody had hopes. So I was in a boarding school initial years of my life, and then when I shifted back to Delhi and I was here, I opted for humanities, for arts, hoping that I would turn into, that would help me become a UPSC aspirant. And over there, psychology was my mandatory subject. So it was not something I chose. It was something that just happened to me. Once I started diving deep into the subject, I did my bachelor's in psychology. And like I said, it transformed me. So I very beautifully understood that this is something I want to go ahead with. And I gave up on the UPSC aspirations I had, and I just got into this field. Now, once we are into the field, we start understanding the human mind, the human behaviors, human thoughts much in a much more easier manner. That's what we are trained into. And COVID-19 was one time where all of us saw how it took a toll on our mental health and how there was a big lack of resources. People did not know where to go for help. Um, People did not know what to do when they were bored. People did not know how to grieve the loss of their loved ones that they were losing during the time. And that is when I came up with the PsycH Life. So it's a registered organization, and one of the initial pillars that we were working on was awareness, was advocacy. And we have a national mental health helpline today. We have pro bono therapy sessions, which is completely free of cost therapy sessions that we provide to people in need, so that everybody reaches out for help and nobody thinks twice, keeping in mind, I have to pay and how do I afford it. So breaking that barrier, we've started with that. And we did a lot of self-care sessions. We did a lot of well-being sessions. Today, we are associated with corporates, we are associated with schools, we are associated with colleges, NGOs, and every day we're just making an effort to reach out to the masses and educate more about mental health. So this is one pillar that we're working on, definitely. Other than this, something again which my experience taught me was, so when we talk about the field of psychology, our degrees teach us too much theory and not the practicalities. There's no application based learning that happens a lot, and that is why a lot of people, even after having completed their degrees, do not are not able to help people in the best manner when they're providing therapy. So bridging that gap was another important vision I had. And as a psychologist now in the field, I provide, along with my team, trainings and supervision and courses to budding psychologists and mental health professionals so that they can just skill themselves up better and, deal with their clients in a much more, help them in a much more better manner. So these are the crucial things that we are working on. We provide counseling services, therapy services. We have a large team of professionals working, and We're also building a mental health store where products related to mental health are provided. So that is a little bit about the work I do and why I started doing what I'm doing.
Yes, dear ma'am. Great, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Dear ma'am, if the people across India, now you are focused in Delhi, and if people across India would love to connect with you and connect with your dream project, that is the mental health store, and they would want to know what they could get from there, what type of benefit and what is it all about? Because that seems to be like quite mysterious. It's the first time I'm hearing it as well. So could you
Yes.
just elaborate on that particular aspect?
So mental health store is, like I said, it's a place where you would be getting products related to mental well-being. Just like you have different kinds of stores working around different items, here it would be related to mental health. For example, we have a gratitude journal, which is designed and worked upon by a mental health professional, where we help you process through different emotions, work through different things, connect with yourself better, and express gratefulness. So we have gratitude journal. We have different tools in which you can manage your anxiety better. We have an anxiety sketch pad. We have different items through which you will be able to ground yourself. You will be able to manage your anxiety better using those products. We have a self-care box, one of our most loved products, which is perfect for gifting yourself as well as others, which includes different elements of self-care. So when somebody wants to take care of themselves, what all products would they require and how they can take care of themselves is all curated in a hamper box. So like these, we are coming up with different items and different products related to well-being as a part of our mental health story.
That's really very nice. This is the first time I'm getting to hear about something like that. And I really love the concept. And I would love that you open up branches in every state. Make it
Definitely,
accessible
that
for all Indians.
yes, that's the ultimate goal. And we are functioning online, so we do deliver our products all over India right now also.
That's really great. That's really great. I would even love, even if it was offline as well, because there are several people who would like, to personally come and meet
Browse
them.
through, yes,
Yes,
first see things and then right.
yes, dear. Dear ma'am, what about the internships that your organization is offering?
So we help students right from 11, 12 standard because a lot of students want to explore. They've heard of psychology. What is this field? What does this look like? So right from high school students from 11, 12, we offer them with an exposure to bachelor's, master's students pursuing their bachelor's degree or master's degree, as well as people who've completed their master's degree and want to bridge the gap. So in India, if you want to work as a psychologist, you have to complete a master's degree in psychology. Once you're done doing that, you're a psychologist and you can start working. But we don't have that experience. We still are hesitant. We don't know how to face a client, how to sit in front of a patient who is going to be crying and sharing about their problems. My books did not teach me that. So bridging that gap is what we do. We cover a lot of areas, a lot of aspects of psychology, starting from forensic psychology, child psychology, counseling psychology, clinical psychology, developmental psychology. So there are different aspects of psychology, different fields of psychology that we have courses for, as well as internships where our students and professionals get hands-on experience. So that is what we are working on.
That's really great, ma'am. That's really nice. Ma'am, what is the duration of the internship course, ma'am?
Our internships are of two types. We have 120 hours internship as well as 240 hours. So a lot of colleges and universities require students to complete certain number of hours, as a part of their curriculum. So we do provide internships for that. Our internships include coursework, work assignments that the client that the students are doing on their own, as well as training sessions. So all our internships are training based internships. We train you, we teach you the concepts, we help you understand them better, and then you practice all of that through coursework, through the assignments that you're provided. So 120 hours and 240 hours is what we have. And there are also 60 hours internships, but we feel that this less hours do not do justice. You cannot really acquire skills. So we have 120 and 240 hours that we offer.
That's really nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. About the diploma course, is it something similar to the internship?
It's more at length. So internships are focused as providing overview of everything of. So it's an overview sort of thing, internship, because you're getting an exposure. Courses are, whether it's a certificate course, whether it's a practitioner or a diploma course that we offer, there we are going in depth. So you pick up just, let's say, marriage and family therapy. how can a person handle issues that come up in marriages or in within couples or in families? How do you help those clients? There's an in-depth course that we do. So it's just specific to a particular thing. You want to understand about sports psychology. You want to understand about forensic psychology. So when you want to go deeper, that is when our courses come handy. Otherwise, our internships is if you want to get an overview of everything.
That's wonderful. Thank you for the clarity, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear ma'am, do you have a collaboration with countries, other countries, like apart from India, are there any other countries connected with you?
Yes, we do. We do have clientele from different parts of the world, whether it is in terms of students and professionals signing up for our courses, or it is in terms of people reaching out for mental health help. So our clients, therapy clients, are also from abroad as well as India. And at the same time, people who are enrolling for our courses are also from India as well as abroad.
That's great. That's really great. Ma'am, as you said, most of the courses are affordable and some of them are free. So would you like to share about the free courses that you offer me?
So at PsyK Life, we make sure that every month we are doing free workshops, we are doing free webinars and free courses for our audience. It again varies. We provide a lot of free art therapy sessions to us. To art therapy is a beautiful field of psychology where through using paints, using colors, using different forms and modalities of art, music, dance, one gets to explore themselves better. One gets to understand themselves better. So we have professionals taking up those free sessions as well. A lot of times we do free workshops for parents. We connect with schools. We have an entire project called Project Skillshala, which is basically our collaboration with different schools all over the country, as well, especially Delhi. We visit schools and we cater to different classes and provide them with life skills, mental health, wellness workshops, confidence building workshops. So different personality development workshops. So different workshops are curated by mental health professionals of our team, and then we go and conduct these sessions for them as well. So whether it is schools, corporates, colleges, whether it is on one-on-one basis, we make sure we are reaching out to more and more people, and money not being one of the restricting factors.
That's really nice. Ma'am, now here's a question that I have in mind. From your experience and the expertise that you have till date, have you noticed where the problem is? Like, let me put this in the right way. You see, which gender is mostly affected with regard to mental health? The male or the female members? Because I would like to know that. I'm always curious to know about it. So I wanted a person whom I could ask this question to. Yes, dear.
It's a good question, and I'm glad we are addressing this question. If you ask me which gender, I would say both. And even people who do not restrict themselves to just male or female, even others, everybody deals with mental health issues. Now, if you ask about therapy and help seeking behavior, people who reach out for help, then probably females do reach out for help more, because since birth they've been taught that they're more emotional, or for them seeking help becomes a little easier as it is for males. If I just talk about these two genders, right? Boys and males in our society are never taught to be vulnerable. It's seen as a sign of weakness that, oh my God, a boy is crying. Oh my God, a boy needs help. So that is how the parenting, that is how the upbringing has been done. Just before this, conversation of ours, I just completed a therapy session with a male, and I shared about it on my Instagram handle also, on how beautiful it was for him to talk about his emotional baggage, of his emotional dependency that he's having on different people. So for boys, it's very difficult to actually reach out for help because they're not taught. It's seen as a sign of weakness. So if you ask me who has these issues more, it's both. It's all the genders. It's every human being. But if you talk about who reaches out for help more, probably females reach out more as compared to males.
Thank you, ma'am, for clarifying that. Thank you so much. So, my dear friends, all my brothers out there, reach out for help and do not keep yourself restricted and suffer in silence. If you feel if you feel uneasy, if you're not okay with yourself, with your thoughts and emotions, reach out for help.
And there's no shame in reaching out for help. Trust me, it takes a lot of courage to, speak to somebody, speak to a complete stranger about your problems. It's not easy. So people who are coming for help, they're not weak. They're actually strong. They're actually ready to work on themselves.
Yes, they love themselves. They begin to give themselves that respect and
Yes,
self-love and self-esteem has increased. That's why they are reaching out for help.
right.
It's really beautiful. Dear ma'am, I would like to focus on this area, childhood trauma. Do you think the root cause for all the mental health issues I mean, not all, maybe majority of the mental health issues, I cannot say all, majority of the mental health issues arises due to childhood trauma. I would like to say, ask you, like, would you like to share something, or am I right in asking you this question in the right way? Because I've seen most of the children from my personal experience who I've met many people, they suffer from childhood trauma once they have reached that adulthood stage. Yes, dear.
Yes. You are right to a great extent that our childhood plays a very important role in who we are as adults and how we function. All our learning patterns, all my ways of behaving, whether it's my confidence, whether it is how I look at myself, how I look at others, whether it is how I will function in relationships, everything is formed in childhood. When a child sees their parents fighting, or an abusive parenting takes place, or a toxic family environment is there, that child will develop issues. That child will not trust in relationships. That child will not trust in himself or herself. That child will have people pleasing behavior. So your childhood definitely plays an important role. However, when we talk about mental health issues, it's not just the childhood. There are other factors also. But if you ask me, childhood plays an important role. And that is why, for parents to parent in the right manner, or for parents to be very conscious of how they're talking to their children, what are they doing, and how they're modeling, how are they interacting with everybody, and how the child is observing all of that becomes very, very important. So when clients come to me or to any other mental health professional, we do talk about the childhood as well. We do talk about the disturbances, the difficulties that the child has gone through, whether it's bullying, whether it's body shaming, whether it's the school environment. So the childhood, that stage plays a very, very important role, definitely.
Yes, dear ma'am. Dear ma'am, does your organization have this premarital and postmarital counseling?
Yes, we do. We do help couples who are getting into a relationship and wants to work around that particular phase, a premarital counseling. And at the same time, whether somebody's feeling dealing with marital issues, relationship conflicts, deciding to separate, wants to work around that, or somebody who has separated, gotten divorced, and now they want to work around the difficulties that they're facing as a human being, we do have experts providing all of those sessions.
Yes, dear. I love that. The way you put all of that, that's really nice. Postmarital and premarital and postmarital counseling. Ma'am, I have a thought in my mind which has just occurred. Should we have sessions for those children whose parents have separated, getting to know, talk on a one-to-one basis in schools and maybe in colleges as well, and have
We
a
should.
special training program for these children to cope up with the separation of their parents?
We should. How a person deals with change is very different. It's very subjective. So if a person's parents separate, how is the child observing all of this? Is the child developing anger towards one of the parent figure? Is the
Very
child developing hatred? Is the child feeling insecure? Is the child blaming themselves? How is the child? Every child might deal with it in a different manner. So we need, and that is why it is important for every school to have a school counselor also, because talking to a teacher might not be the easiest thing to do for this child. But if you know there's a dedicated person who is going to keep all your information safe, who you can trust, if you have a school counselor, so helping the child connect with that person is very, very important. Now these issues are not just about issues at home, even in the school. Children go through a lot. We both of us have been children, and we know the kind of struggles that any teenager, adolescent goes through, young adult goes through. So connecting to a trusted person, providing them with a safe space right then and there is important, so that it does not turn into something more severe in the future.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all of that. Thank you very much for focusing on the points which really need to be focused on is the need of the hour for every psychologist. Not only we put the burden on our special celebrity's shoulder, Kirti Garg, but every one of us should do our bit, including the teachers, parents, elders, everyone. Dear ma'am, now it's like stress management. Like Personally, we being in the educational sector or maybe into the psychological field, as psychologists, as mental health professionals, we too face a lot of challenges, ups and downs. So for
Definitely.
all of the psychologists out there, what type of a message you would like to convey? Sometimes the client's burdens, it flows over us. Whatever the
Right.
client is sharing, automatically sometimes it, even after they have gone, that effect has not, that energy has not left us. So how are we
Right.
to separate that, the client, the negative energy of the client and your personal life? How to separate that? Is there any technique or method that you follow and are free from all of this?
I'm very, very glad about the style of questioning that is happening here and the important topics you're bringing up. And this being one of my favorite and most crucial, because in the end, psychologists are also human beings. They are not robots. They are not people who do not feel things. And they are going to be dealing with a client who's going through so much. So it's not easy, let's say, for me to connect with a person for 1 hour, listen to all the worries and difficulties they are going through, and be all robotic about it and not feel it. Then probably I'm not doing a good job as a psychologist, and I'm just, acting very robotic, which is not how it works. So every therapist, every mental health professional also requires therapy, because we are also human beings. In my personal life, I might be having difficulties. In my professional life, when I deal with clients, I might be having doubts. I might also be getting a lot of emotional baggages when I deal with a particular client. So I also need a space where I can vent it out all properly. For therapists, it is highly advisable that they themselves go for therapy, number one. Number two, supervision is something which is very, very crucial. And at the PsyK Life, I'm glad and I feel grateful to have a space where I provide the supervision to psychologists too, wherein there are a lot of emotions that will come your way. There are a lot of doubts that will come your way when you're dealing with clients. How do you handle all of that is taken care in supervision. So if I'm dealing with the client and I'm not feeling confident, or I'm feeling very heavy, I'm feeling like crying, or I'm just continuously thinking about this client after the therapy session also, going to supervision will help me a lot, because I'll talk to an experienced psychologist who will help me deal with this better. So taking therapy, going for supervision, two important points. Other than that, something that I personally practice, like you asked, is taking breaks and not making my day all about my work. So my if I could just, so I'm somebody who does not wait for weekends. For me, my style of working is not Monday to Friday I work and Saturday Sunday I chill. My style of working is Monday to Sunday I work and every day I chill. Okay, so I don't know where how alien it sounds, but every day I make sure to take out time for myself, and I don't wait for a Sunday to do that. Now making time for me could be spending time with my parents, spending time with my friends, watching something I enjoy, um, going out on a solo date and just spending time with my thoughts, writing down how I'm feeling, sleeping for some extra hours. It could be different ways for different people, but for every psychologist, especially, try taking out time for yourself on a day to day basis, because our profession requires a lot of emotional demand. We have to be emotionally available, and that can be very taxing, that can lead to burnout. So in order to avoid that, this is something that I personally practice, and I also go for therapy, I also go for supervision. Again, beautiful techniques that works wonderfully well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. This is a very beautiful answer that you've shared, and it applies to all the psychologists, all the mental health professionals out there. You have to take care of yourselves, because if you are fine, the rest of the masses will be fine. Your clients will be fine, right? That's really very nice. I love the way you put it. Otherwise you will go into this burnout syndrome where you
Right.
will suffer excessively and you will not be able to give your best, and you will
Right.
lose your clients, and you will not be in that space where you could contribute more to the field of psychology, to the field of mental health, creating mental health awareness.
Right.
Dear ma'am, which area would you like to focus your energies to bring about a change in this world?
I think our society needs conversation. Today, you and I talking about mental health, and I don't know how many people watch this interview, but just those people watching it and probably getting an aha moment that yes, this is important. I think both of us have taken a step there. So it is conversations that we require, and I think it's also good time to talk about something that we are working at the Psych Life with, which is the Psych Talk. it's a podcast that we have. Okay, so it's a podcast on mental health and psychology, where we have experts coming in, and myself being the host, I connect with them and we engage into conversations around mental health, whether it is at workplace, corporate sector, schools, daily lives, different areas we're trying to cover. So conversations, keeping quiet is the problem. Nobody coming up and talking about what the problem is the problem. Once you start talking about it, so I have been to therapy and I start telling people I have been to therapy, it won't be a problem anymore. I'll give you a very quick example through which our audience will also be able to relate. When COVID had just hit us, and let's say somebody was diagnosed with COVID, for them to say it out loud was a big stigma. Ki, Arey, no, my neighbors will get to know if they put that thing outside my door. And no, no, don't tell anybody. Just chup chap say you isolate yourself and all of that, right? That was our approach. But once, dheere dheere, because masses were getting affected by it, once we started talking about it a little bit more, it became easier. COVID was no more a taboo. People were actually empathizing with you. People were actually coming and sharing tips with you that start doing this and don't do this and don't. You started getting support more. All of us were in this together suddenly, right? So the more we talk about it, the more the change will happen. It's all about conversations. The more we keep quiet that, oh my God, I went to therapy, I shouldn't be telling anybody. I've created a barrier there. So conversations, according to me, is what we require.
Perfect, ma'am. I really love that concept. Conversation, speak out. And my dear friends, speak out against any form of abuse. And if you have gone for therapy, you just share it with somebody such that it might encourage others to reach out to the right kind of people and seek help. Yes. Dear ma'am, as we've mentioned earlier, taboo topics. Even parents are unable to share certain things or open up in front of their children or even guide their children on certain taboo topics. But your organization is doing that. Would you like to speak on that, dear?
Yes, again, it's all about conversations. It's all about making things easier for people to understand, especially the concept of mental health. So something I love explaining or telling my audiences, just like we have a physical health to take care of, we have a mental health to take care of. So I don't have to be obese or I don't have to be completely thin. I don't have to be on the extremities to take care of my diet or to exercise. As a human being, irrespective of what my body type is, I need to exercise. I need to take care of my health, my physical health. Similarly, for mental health, I don't have to be diagnosed with depression. I don't have to have some severe mental health issue to take care of my mental health. I have a mind, I have to take care of it every day because I have it, It's not ki kuch dikkat hogi tabhi I have to take care of. I have to take care of it every day. So having more conversations, again, just like I gave an example right now, making things more easier for my audience to understand is the approach that we are taking through our organization.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, is there a message that you would love to share with us today for all of us?
Just that be kind. A lot of people around the world will tell you to be kind to others, and that is definitely required. But don't forget to be kind to yourself, because connecting with yourself should always remain one of the first priorities. And like we spoke about today, if I'm able to take care of myself better, I'll be able to take care of others better, right? Don't be harsh on yourself, irrespective of what the situation and what the actions are. Be kind to yourself. And once you start being kind to yourself, you'll automatically start being kind to others. Give mental health the space it requires. Have more conversations about therapy and counseling because we all need it. All, irrespective of what our gender is, what my age is, what any demographics. We all need it because we're all human beings, we're not robots. So that is all I would want to say.
Yeah, I love the way you put that, ma'am. Be kind to others and don't forget yourself. Be kind to yourself as well. So there is the solution to every problem. Be kind to yourself and then you look at the world in a beautiful way and contribute your best.
Yes.
Dear ma'am, we'd like to know till today your proudest accomplishment. At this young age, you've accomplished so much. You're so deep into that field of psychology, understanding the human mind and the behavior of people, the various mental health issues. We'd love to know your proudest moment and accomplishment, the wow moment in your life.
I mean, if I say a wow moment, there have been many, if I talk about tangible things, then I gifted my parents an international trip. That was something huge for me. I gifted myself certain things which I never hoped I would be able to. So if I talk about tangible things, there are definitely many. But today, when you ask me this question and I'm able to reflect back, something I'm very, very proud of or grateful for rather is the platform of the PsyK Life, the organization which we have built and we're still continuing to build and make a change with. Because I feel to have a space where you can voice out whatever you want to and you can bring in a change is, and I feel privileged to have had that, to have a space like Psych Life where we're bringing in change every day. So that's the my organization would be something which I hold very dear to me and which I'm very proud of.
That's beautiful. And we wish you all the best in all your endeavors, ma'am. That's really nice to open up something like that and bring about a change. Not a change only in your nutshell, but bringing about a change in the entire society and impacting the world at large. Wonderful, ma'am. Dear ma'am, what type of changes do you visualize in the next 50 years with regard to mental health?
I visualize every human being having their personal therapist and visiting that therapist at least twice a month. I visualize that. I visualize every school teaching children about mental health and not me putting it as a taboo or a stigmatized topic. I visualize every school having a school counselor. I visualize therapists getting paid for what they deserve, you know, because today help seeking behavior is so less. We as professionals also charge very less because we know nobody comes, we know nobody understands the importance of it, and we know how help seeking is becoming difficult for people and they're not coming up for it, right? So I visualize every therapist getting awarded for the work they do, and I just visualize mental health not being a stigma anymore. Just like physical health, today people don't think twice going to a gym or going for yoga or taking care of their diet or nutrition. It's a very crucial part of our life. I want mental health to become that crucial part of our life. That, oh, you're going for therapy? Yes, that's very important. Tell me about your therapist. I would also like to connect. I visualize something like that.
Perfect. I love the last few sentences that you just shared just now. That's really nice. Yes, we should give importance to our mental health and, of course, go in for counseling when the need is. And, of course, share it with others such that others also could benefit and they could get that courage. Yes, even it's time for me to visit a mental health specialist or a counselor. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, I would like you to share about constructive criticism because nowadays there are many people who are unable to take constructive criticism at face value. What is your take on that as a psychologist?
See, when we talk about criticism, it's important with from whom it is coming. So if I know my inner circle, if I know people who care for me, if I know people who genuinely want me to grow, if they are sharing any feedback with me, I should take it as a feedback. Number one, my sense of self of who I am is not just formed with who I think I am. It's also what others think of who I am. There's a very interesting concept in psychology which is Johari window. Okay, everybody listening to this, watching this, I would really like you to go through it. The Johari window. It talks about four windows in our life, where the first window is about things I know about myself and others know about myself. For example, me being a psychologist is something I also know, others also know. There are aspects of my life that I know about myself, but others don't know, right? These are usually our secrets. Now, there's also a third aspect of who I am, which is things that others know about me, but I don't know. So, probably how I present myself to others. In my mind, it would be something wow, but you could tell me better that did I make you feel warm or not? Was I genuine with you or not? So, some things that others know, but I don't know. And there's a fourth window, which is things that others also don't know about me, as well as I don't know about myself, which is things in our unconscious. So, in therapy and in general, we try to increase our window of knowing about ourselves. So, therefore, taking these criticisms or taking these feedbacks in the right manner is very, very important so that you get a better understanding of who you are.
Yes, dear ma'am. I really like the way you explained the Joe Harry window. It's really very clear. And I'll tell you today, I got a good clarity of it. I've heard about it before. I've read about it as well. But today, the way you put it with lots of clarity. Thank you for that.
Great.
Personal
Great.
thank you from my side and of course from our viewers as well. You will definitely be thanked for making it very clear. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, do you think forgiveness would help us to have a better mental health status? Like,
Nice
कर
question.
देना तो हमारे मन के लिए ठीक है. Like, I mean, how do I put it in the right way? Does forgiveness play an important role in having a good mindset or a
Definitely.
healthy mindset?
Definitely it does. When we handle things, when we are working around things or working around heavy emotions, we are putting a lot in our head. We are carrying a lot of things with us. I often work around with my clients and we work around forgiveness and acceptance, even empathy for that matter. Sometimes understanding others is not important so that we know they're right or wrong. Sometimes I'm not understanding others so that they are proved right or wrong. Sometimes I'm understanding others so that I feel better. For example, if somebody spoke to me rudely, I will try empathizing. I will try understanding that why did this person speak to me rudely? Oh my God, they might have reasons. That is great. You're thinking about somebody else. But the moment you start thinking, why did somebody behave this way? And it's okay if they behave this way, you will also feel better. So, a lot of times, empathy and forgiveness for that matter is required so that we feel better about things. I will forgive somebody who has hurt me, not because they're right or not because they have understood their mistake, not because they've changed. If all of that happens, great. But if that does not happen, but I forgive somebody else, I will feel better. My load in my mind will decrease, right? So a lot of times you will have to choose things for yourself rather than others. That is what I would like to say.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing all of that. Thank you for giving us your time. I know you are a very busy person, but in spite of that, you've taken time for us on the International Fab Talks. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and stay connected, and we wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Looking forward to many more interactions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that Fabtalk is creating a platform like this where people from different spheres of life can come and share. And you guys are doing an amazing work. Continue doing this. And it was a complete delight coming here and having this short conversation with you. Thank you for being so warm. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Stay blessed and stay safe, ma'am. Thank you so much. My dear friends, with this, we'd like to come to an end to the International Fab Talks for now. We'll meet you very soon. And of course, before we sign off, we'll give a big thank you to our special guest today because she focused on mental health. She focused on being the better version of you. And we should thank her because she's been giving all her expertise. And my dear friends, if you really love to connect with her and get to know more about her services, you could definitely contact her. She will be really very happy to share that space with you to make you be your best version. Dear ma'am, how are they supposed to connect with you? If you could just share that in a moment and then we could wind up.
Yes. So our official website is www.thepsychlife.com. The PsyK Life is spelled as THEPSYKLIFE. And we're also available on Instagram @the PsyK Life. I would be more than happy to connect with each one of you. Thank you so much for listening to me today.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much, ma'am. My dear friends, with this, we sign off. Stay blessed and stay safe.